no treatment, no cure. Hundreds of thousands are dead. But the fatalities are mainly the elderly and immunocompromised, so as young college students, why should we care about preventing the spread of the novel coronavirus? The elderly, such as our grandparents, are the most affected age group, representing 80% of deaths caused by this outbreak. And though we as college students aren't as likely to die, we can still do our part in preventing the spread to protect those who are vulnerable and those we care about. The purpose of my speech is to convince you that the novel coronavirus is a uniquely serious disease. Therefore, it is highly important to stay informed and to take steps to prevent the spread today. I will be sharing 3 points with you. First, I'll persuade you to take this pandemic seriously. Then I will convince you to spread accurate sources of news to others in your community instead of the disease. And finally, I will influence you to wear a face mask when leaving your home. Speaking of leaving your home, I would highly advise against doing so as we are amidst a serious global pandemic. What makes this virus unique is that it never affected humans that we knew of until last year. So humans don't have a natural immunity to the virus, making it especially dangerous. On top of the fact that we don't have immunity, it is unclear exactly how contagious this virus is, but we do know that it is much more contagious than the average seasonal flu. The coronavirus mortality rate is 1.4%, which makes it 9 times more deadly than the average seasonal flu. Even if you don't die from the coronavirus, you could be hospitalized like 20% of the infected population. That's why you need to take this virus seriously. But don't take my word for it. Instead, make sure you're keeping up to date on this virus using valuable information. Everyone has that one uncle always ranting on Facebook about politics or religion, but he may not be using credible sources of news, and he should be. According to a professor at Merrimack College, Melissa Zimdar's 2020 Reputable News Sources article, a good news source publishes accurate content, checks facts, and if errors are made, corrects them. We need everyone to practice critical thinking by listening to sources that follow these guidelines. In Tom Rosenstein's article, 6 Questions That Will Tell You What Media to Trust in 2013 by the American Press Institute, he discusses things like, what kind of content is this? Or what's the evidence and how is it vetted? We need to ask these important questions in order to determine if a news source is biased or not. I've persuaded you to take the virus seriously, and those credible sources will inform you on preventative techniques. One such technique involves putting something on your face. And no, I'm not talking about acne wash or makeup, but rather a face mask. Face masks are more important than ever in our current situation. In the 2020 article, Why We Should All Be Wearing Face Masks by Richard Gray, Chris Kenyon at the Institute of Medicine in Antwerp, Belgium, explains countries that flatten the curve used masks in public. We should be using masks all across the US in order to flatten our own country's curve in confirmed cases and deaths. In the 2020 CDC recommendation for cloth face covers, it is clearly stated that the virus can spread between people interacting in close proximity. So we need to be extra careful as college students when choosing to live on a densely populated campus. In conclusion, I've shown you why you should care, why you should stay informed, and why you should use preventative techniques during this pandemic. First, I persuade you to care about this serious outbreak. Then, I convinced you to spread accurate and credible news to others, as I have in this speech. And finally, I give you plenty of reasons why you should wear a face mask. There is so much you can do to help as a so-called average college student. You can take this virus seriously instead of staying home and ignoring it like so many others. You can also fact-check sources and spread credible news throughout your community to correct others' non-credible sources. And finally, you can wear a face mask in order to avoid contracting and spreading the virus. In the NBC article, How Coronavirus Dramatically Changed College for Over 14 Million Students by Abigail Hess in 2020, she states that at least 1,102 colleges and universities in the US have closed their campuses due to the coronavirus, choosing to move online. So please, please consider this a serious issue for all of us. Take it seriously, stay home, wear a mask, and keep your distance until this is all over. Thank you for listening, and thank you for helping.